If you thought Rowan Atkinson drives around in an armchair on top of a Mini, then you're in for a shock because the comedy legend seriously knows his cars. Given his worldwide fame, you must have wondered what kind of cars a guy like him owns. While he loves making people laugh on screen, he is a true car enthusiast, off it. His collection is almost as legendary as Mr. Bean's Mini, but way faster with vintage sports cars and luxury SUVs. And wait till you hear which car he says he'd never buy. Let's get started. 1997, McLaren F1. 240 miles per hour. That's the insane top speed of the Gordon Murray-designed McLaren F1, a car that changed the supercar world when it launched in 1992. Rowan Atkinson got his hands on one in 1997, paying around $830,000 for a machine of which only 106 were ever built. The thing with Atkinson is that he doesn't lock up his cars in a fancy garage. So, he drove it hard, raced it, and even admitted, "It made me feel like a driver, not a manager." And guess what? He crashed it not once but twice. The first was in 1999 when he rear-ended another car. The second, in 2011, caused a repair bill so massive that his insurance company paid out over $1.4 million. Which was reportedly the highest ever in the UK. Even after all that, in 2015, Rowan sold the car for £8 million, about $12.2 million, with nearly 41,000 miles on the clock. A British buyer snapped it up, promising to drive it just like Rowan did. Not bad for a car he bought with his Mr. Bean movie money. Aston Martin V8 Zagato. Rowan Atkinson spent almost a decade with the Aston Martin V8 Zagato, and one of the most unforgettable moments came in 2001 when he crashed it at the Croft circuit. Luckily, he and the car escaped without major damage, but the repair cost was huge at £220,000. What made it even more painful was that when he eventually sold it at auction, it only brought in £122,500. Rowan himself summed it up with a laugh, saying, "I think the phrase rhymes with clucking bell." Based on the Aston Martin V8 Vantage, the Zagato was created by the famous Italian coach builder known for giving Aston Martins their most unique shapes. This version was tuned to 482 horsepower, and its sharp angular lines perfectly captured the bold style of the 1980s. Atkinson owned not just one, but two of them. A road car and a track car, and he even raced the competition spec version in historic motorsport events. The last time this beauty appeared for sale was in 2021. Ford Falcon Sprint. This is a 1964 race car, and oh yes, you've guessed it, he crashed this one too. At least this time he did it in competition, suffering a head-on collision during the Goodwood Revival's Shelby Cup race in 2014. As Blackadder might say, "Oh God, fortune vomits on my eiderdown once more." Painted in turquoise, it is not just for the track, you can actually enjoy driving it on the road too. Rowan bought this Falcon Sprint in 2006, but after the crash and the repairs, he finally put it up for sale in 2021 for $77,000. This model came with the Sprint package first offered in 1964, swapping the usual inline-six with a 4.3-litre V8 from the Ford Fairlane. Part of the famous Ford small block V8 family, this engine is closely linked to the Windsor series. Bentley Mulsanne Birkin-Edition. This car was built as a tribute to one of the wildest Bentley boys, Sir Henry Tiger Tim Birkin, and Rowan Atkinson himself once played Birkin in the 1995 film Full Throttle. That connection alone makes his 2014 Bentley Mulsanne Birkin-Edition feel almost like destiny. The name Mulsanne comes from the famous Straight at Le Mans, where Bentley dominated in 1929, 1930, and 1931, before returning with another win in 1932, 2003. Unlike other luxury barges that just look pretty on the red carpet at the BAFTAs, this limited edition carries deep racing heritage. Only 22 units of the Birkin Mulsanne were ever made, all reserved for Europe, and each came with a numbered plaque on the doorsill. To make things even more fun, the Birkin name also connects to the Hermes Birkin bag, since racing driver Tim Birkin was a distant relative of actress Jane Birkin. Rolls-Royce Phantom Drophead. Rowan Atkinson's Rolls-Royce Phantom Drophead made headlines because it was not powered by the usual V12. Instead, the Johnny English star convinced Rolls-Royce to install a massive 9.0-liter V16 engine, a prototype that was never meant to reach the public. This engine was originally built for internal testing when BMW took over the brand, and Rowan's car is believed to be the only one in existence with it. The Phantom Drophead itself was produced between 2007 and 2016, and was based on both the Phantom and the 100EX concept created to celebrate 100 years of Rolls-Royce. Known as a luxury convertible grand tourer, it even appeared in the spotlight during the closing ceremony of the London 2012 Olympics. Rowan even featured it on screen in the Johnny English sequel, driving to play golf with villain Sergei Pudovkin. BMW 328. Please, Rowan, for goodness sake, don't scratch this one. The 1939 BMW 328 Roadster is not just the oldest car in his garage, it is also one of the most important sports cars of its time. Back in the day, this very model won the legendary Mille Miglia, a race often called the most passionate and fearsome road event in history. It was driven by Huschke von Hanstein and Walter Bäumer, who competed under the swastika, and the car has since been restored to perfection. Rowan picked up his silver 328 at auction for a massive $621,000. It has a 1.9-liter straight-six engine producing 79 horsepower, and thanks to its lightweight 1,800-pound frame, it was a true motorsport machine. To make things even more special, Atkinson himself raced this exact car in the 2011 Mille Miglia, bringing history full circle. Lancia Delta HF Integrale. I can't imagine any car getting you from P to Q faster than this one. Rowan Atkinson once wrote in Car Magazine, and he was talking about his Lancia Delta HF Integrale. He first got the 8-valve version in 1989, but the thrill was so strong that he soon swapped it for the 16-valve model, which was delivered the same year. It was a rallying legend that had teenage bedrooms covered in posters during the 80s and 90s. HEF stands for High Fidelity, and the Integrale became a star in the World Rally Championship. Atkinson loved it so much that decades later, he picked up yet another one, a 1993 Evo 2. That very Evo 2 went under the hammer in 2023. For fans who dream of owning one, there's good news and bad news. An upgraded version of the Delta exists, but only 20 are being made. Lancia Thema 8.32. Rowan Atkinson once drove a car that looked like nothing special, but under the hood it was hiding a Ferrari engine. This was the Lancia Thema 8.32, a four-door sedan that most people would mistake for an ordinary ride. Atkinson's version was left-hand drive and ultra-rare in the UK, finished in a classy deep red with wood trim inside and brown cloth seats. The 8.32 engine carried the same 32-valve V8 straight out of the Ferrari 328. Lancia even added a badge on the engine that proudly said Lancia by Ferrari. When it fired up, it sounded like no family car should. Unveiled at the Turin Motor Show in 1986, the name 8.32 itself told the story. 8 cylinders, 32 valves. For cars, it was called the ultimate sleeper car, at least until the Mercedes 500e arrived. Mercedes 500e. Rowan Atkinson has such a soft spot for the Mercedes 500e that he kept selling it and then buying it back again. He first bought a brand new 1991 model, but sold it after 4 years. In 2015, he wanted another one, so he picked up a 1993 version. The twist came in 2017, when he actually managed to buy back his original 1991 car. At the same time, he put the 1993 model up for auction along with his Lancia Thema, where it sold for around $88,000. But Rowan being Rowan, he sold the 1991 car too, then later went out and bought yet another 1993 500e. Even that did not last long and was auctioned off again, valued at around $81,800. Why all this back and forth? Because the 500e is really special. Built by Porsche, it hides a 5.0 V8 engine under the hood, hits 161 miles per hour, and does 0 to 62 in just 5.5 seconds. Don't get surprised if the present owner gets a phone call in 2041. 2002 Honda NSX. Rowan Atkinson also owned a Honda NSX from 2002. People called it the Japanese Ferrari, and for good reason. The handling was tuned by none other than Ayrton Senna himself, the Formula One legend who, as Rowan once joked, seemed to know what he was doing. The NSX was loved by enthusiasts all over the world. In the US, it was sold as the Acura NSX and enjoyed a strong 15-year run before vanishing for a decade, only to roar back in 2016. The 2002 update brought some changes. The iconic pop-up headlights were gone, the bumper stretched out, and the suspension tweaked to keep up with fierce European rivals. The NSX was literally a wolf, just like the character Mr. Wolf who drove one in Pulp Fiction. Land Rover Defender Heritage. Only 400 units of the Land Rover Defender Heritage were ever sold in the UK, and Rowan Atkinson owns one of them. This special edition was created as a tribute to Land Rover's 1940s beginnings, and it came in two versions, the short wheelbase 90 and the long wheelbase 110. Both were powered by a 2.2-liter turbo diesel engine that made 122 horsepower. What makes this Defender stand out in his garage is its toughness, as it is more durable than most modern cars. Atkinson chose the light pastel green color, officially called Grasmere Green, paired with a white roof. The car was designed with nostalgic details like a metal mesh grille and body-colored alloy wheels, all reminding people of the first Series 1 Defenders from the late 1940s. Aston Martin 5V8 Vantage. This is where it all began for Rowan Atkinson with his very first proper car, the 1977 Aston Martin 5V8 Vantage. Built with a 5.3-litre V8 engine pushing out 389 horsepower, this was Britain's first true supercar. It could blast from 0 to 60 in just over 5 seconds and reach a top speed of 175 miles per hour. Rowan bought it in 1984, right when he was rising to fame, and he has kept it ever since. Painted in burgundy, one of his favorite colors, this car literally became part of his story. It even made a cameo in Johnny English Strikes Again in 2018, proving that Atkinson's taste in cars has always carried a bit of that James Bond flavor. At one point, this same Aston Martin went up for auction for as much as $220,000. Atkinson has also raced in motorsport events, from the Renault 5 GT Turbo Championship to Goodwood runs in vintage cars, and was even the second fastest celebrity on Top Gear's Star in a Reasonably Priced Car, just behind Matt LeBlanc. But the car he has never bought is a Porsche. He admits they're great machines, yet he can't stand the typical Porsche crowd. Let us know which car you wish he never sold, and don't forget to like and subscribe to join us for drives into the rarest celebrity garages.